Hello everyone, my name is Aussie Hornet. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Just before the video starts, I just want to point out that this is all the same recording from the last video. I was originally going to put it all into one video, however I thought it'd be too long, so I decided to make it into two separate videos. But anyways, here's the video. Hope you guys enjoy, and I will leave you now to live commentary. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
For fuck's sake, Gumshoe, you come in at the wrong time. Okay, now is not a good time to show up smiling.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again?
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this if there was a break in today's trial.
Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day.
You must know the two rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book.
Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read.
Like the book do you any good now, though? All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, Detective.
Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. And this guy found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal!
You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is why the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls... Tom's finally come to bring out the real murderer. It's Gant.
Take that!
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-handed knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir?
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation!
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
But please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony.
It's time to bring this chief down. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Is that when Doc was arrested?
Him? He was lying on the floor, unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seemed Doc bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
The police chief has the right to refuse to testify. And I'd better hit him hard and fast.
Objection!
Really? You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example.
That's the list Emma's guy drew a picture on.
This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar was sitting in your office. Was found inside your safe.
Was found where?
You see, Chief Gant? These articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Oh? Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then? That you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
Objection!
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
But kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment? And a list? For all you know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they were worthless. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
when investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You don't understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh,
Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
my apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Audrey. In return, though.
I know. Please, right?
Huh? Why are these guys telepathic? Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reap from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh?
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh! That's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway.
Yeah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, buddy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. It's out in the open now. Gee, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Hold it!
Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, buddy. Could there have been something in it for him? Giving his selfishness would have helped someone out? Yeah. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well done. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
I believe it might be Lana.
Take that!
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky? The defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would have wanted to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would have also had a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Judge, you're an idiot. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you can control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any further proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident?
Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murderer of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Ooh. Wordy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What?
Order. I said order!
Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank of title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see.
Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
The ID card record. Where is it?
Take that!
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime!
Let's go! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense search of my office was in violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
But, I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you enter the room, were you alone?
I always get to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Oh, of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
Objection!
You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna have to ask you for evidence. Show us a proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Oh, the lost item report. I think it's that.
Take that!
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
You needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him?
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered Paul Goodman. Exactly. But what?
The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mentioned it, I believe I might have done something of the sort.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
No! Oh, did he go electrocuted there? What the hell?
Chief Gant, you did it.
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
Objection!
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, though.
Everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it?
Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space.
How can the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this.
Take that!
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
A parking stop? Miles Edgeworth? You mean...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Objection!
You mean I carried the victim's body?
Precisely so.
But wait, even you know I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day.
But you did return. Tell me why.
I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, so I brought this back here.
So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't a screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Miss Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Sky.
Order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Cat, please say something.
I believe... Your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special.
Objection!
No, you can't. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons. Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Objection!
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Woody. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gunn is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Archie?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Archie, I'll leave the rest to you. Damn it! He's getting away.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What?
Objection!
Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial, and yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth, another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, there is only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Ken has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
Still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... Let's call Lana.
Take that!
The defendant? Miss Lana Sky?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on the February 21st. The task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Huh? Chief Guy? I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I got a lunch date to meet.
Okay, there aren't any further objections. This court is now in recess. Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
The Chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah? Sorry about that.
Oh, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take this place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
Did he mean... Maya?
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief can't done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said?
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the Chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits the right to say anything too? Emma! Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery, so she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up in decent side. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see.
Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
Alright.
Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you're under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course. The truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Alright, here we go. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Doc convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Grant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Right, here we go. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes.
Wouldn't you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
What?
But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh? That was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. He's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me.
So when you found a scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Doc's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body.
You planted the tip of Doc's knife in the victim's wound, then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others.
Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason this guy moved the body.
Oh, you mean...
Objection!
You mean this? This guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events friend my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar?
Order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. You may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message and blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Doc was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Objection!
No, you didn't. Miss Guy, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you are unaware of. What? We found a final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation.
On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered,
You were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
but couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Objection!
I'm afraid that's unlikely. Pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that?
Objection!
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying the person was Chief Gant at the time he was looking. But Doc downstairs. Besides, even if he was dead first, why would he break the jar?
Objection!
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No!
Judge?
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar. He purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question, what is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Doc, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet.
Oh, no, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
The fuck, Judge? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana, maybe right after all.
What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. The men in dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Kent help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If you only had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Anna must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check it. The evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had to rearrange everything. Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? Those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
What? Come now, Archie. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Gant!
What now, you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
Objection!
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't, but someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? Better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? No.
Your Honor,
I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
what?
You lie!
Chief Gant?
You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! For conclusive evidence! I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure that out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like part of it's been cut for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe?
What?
That means you, the Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gal, righto? Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Guy?
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Tuck convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. It was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance. Of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating the far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. I see this jar fragment. I hid the most legible part of Emmett's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
Objection!
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too?
Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your name? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for you? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Fine. I'll do it.
Take that!
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for the analysis. This handprint on the letter. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean... It could not have been forged. It must have been authentic, conclusive evidence.
Ho ho ho! You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Wordy.
What?
Think about it. Wright had all the time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
And Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprint belonged to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are there?
Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... I'm sorry, Emma.
Take that!
Emma? Emma Sky?
What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Ho 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 ho!
You're really something, Wright. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still try to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did show Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster!
This guy?
You knew his fingerprint stains were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't? Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction?
What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict?
You get your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, a piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
Take that!
And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it.
Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked down.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the arm of his sword.
Then to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, ensured that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Throughout the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. It's finally over. Uh-oh.
That was close, Wright.
You almost had me. What? Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Order. What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember Aji? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, do you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair.
Did you actually think you could best me in court?
It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Damn it! I almost had him.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
He's right. I admit, I refused to present it at one point.
Aha! So the evidence is illegal.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. There's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
Objection!
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Behold!
Take that!
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Objection!
Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant.
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes.
No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be... Damon Gant! The killer was you! Well, okay, he's losing it. He's definitely losing it. Oh my god, he is losing it. He is...
I knew I should have gotten rid of him.
That good-for-nothing scum! For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then, all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker and he was taking the evidence out, he said. It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led more blood making and impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might have stumbled in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. He used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Can you put the body in my car?
I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grr. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Guy involved in all of this? Well, he has as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker?
I felt bad for having to do it. I almost didn't have time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jaw fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Weddy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji?
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Cat. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Aji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh, she's smiling! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky, and to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing.
Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
So stop it! I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems that good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor?
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. It's a long time since I felt free of those heavy chains.
Yay! Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already. You're telling me this recording has been going on for too long. Regarding the charge of the murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky,
And there's confetti, too.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Quite a long face. I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pal. Oh, fuck off, Gumshoe! You keep coming in at a bad time. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
He's gonna come back, isn't he? Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happy your peoples at funerals. Right, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh? Are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana! Should you be doing this? You're still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell you if I won't.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped in that mess. Sis, I asked Ken to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I tried to change after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now.
You're happy?
Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Well, no one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find a way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right? Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here.
What? Why the face? Where was he hiding? We just came to say congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Kent was right.
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down when you try to go it alone.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth.
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Kent did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Kent and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true. But think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth?
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth, what will you do now?
Well, whatever you do, just remember.
You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Wright.
But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, there's a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself.
Well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal.
What is it, detective?
There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But I thought you said it was okay.
Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks in the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill.
Huh?
Huh? What do you think? I could afford you with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh?
Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream?
Oh, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Objection!
Now it's finally over. This recording has been going on for too long. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Okay, so she's still in jail, but she has faith that she will be out one day to do some investigating with Emma. Not exactly a happy ending, but it's sort of like a semi-happy ending with her. Hey, Gumshoe.
Yikes. I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though. They overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily.
Oh, here's Meekins. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I showed him though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir. Then I could be just like that dick Gumshoe. Well, he still has his microphone. There's the badger. Still dancing. And dancing. And dancing. And dancing. Oh, it stopped. I do like this credits though, using the fingerprints for the credits. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, Marshall's in jail. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? This star managed to sneak this into me. He's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? So even though Jake is in jail, he's happy that the whole case is done and dusted. Oh, it's Angel. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the Tenebat theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Okay. I got a lunch named after me. Woo!
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing, something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go.
How does he still have a job? Sorry, Judge, but... Hey, Maya's back! Nothing soothes the cell of like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on? Where's Edgeworth going? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. That's so wholesome. Wow. I don't know which one's the better ending, this one or Turnabout Goodbyes. Well, Capcom, you did great again. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. We just finished the first game of the trilogy, and yeah, that was really long, but we finished it, and that's what matters. And yeah, that was the episode. So yeah, that's the end of the first game. So yeah, it was really fun. I really liked this game. So next time we're gonna be playing the other games. We're gonna be playing the sequels. So yeah, but until then, if you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Until then, take care and goodbye.